in for so like the jerseys and jackets, if they're winning, they'll sell an additional $480,000. They
Half a
have
million bucks. $500,000 a weekend Notre Dame makes.
oh no, that's just the difference between winning and losing. They run about 1.5 million to 2 million on a game day for paraphernalia. They have 48 cash registers. The average ticket is $187, and they open at 7 a.m. in the morning on game day. Parking passes cost more than a ticket.
We're talking about Notre Dame football, folks, in case you're wondering, with Steve from Notre Dame, Indiana. Well,
Tailgate, all that kind of stuff.
all that wild stuff. We have Douglas Robinson with us and Kevin McTee. Hey guys, welcome. And Steve. All right, and me. This is so funny because it reminds me of what reminds me of this event that I did last Thursday, August 3rd. I think it was. August, no, Sunday. Holy smokes. Okay, we'll get started because, yep, I'm recording and I'm live over here in the O-Rig group. Awesome. So, hello, everybody. I'm Julie Hoffman, if we haven't already met. Welcome to the weekly Q&A. I'm calling them weekly Wednesdays, but hello, today is Thursday. And that's because my son turned 17 yesterday, and yesterday's all about him, and I don't mean to sound all braggy or anything like that, but that's the luxury of being a real estate investor and an entrepreneur. And I'm sure a lot of you that are on here, get that. And yeah, it's a luxury. I feel very blessed, to put it to put it lightly. Anyway, my point with Sunday, August 3rd, I was invited to be on this really cool panel. This guy named Chad, oh golly, Hackster, golly, Chad. Chad, if I'm mispronouncing your last name, I apologize. I think it's Hackster. Hosted this amazing event. He filled 100 people. He filled a rooftop with 100 people. And it was entrepreneurs, real estate investors, tech guys, all kinds of people. Anyway, it was me along with a whole bunch of other men on a panel, and it was so much fun. And I actually have some lessons, some takeaways that I want to share with all of you when it comes to networking, and just give you some suggestions that I hope you could take with you. So, if any of you have questions, then I'm going to do my best to help with anybody that has questions in the chat. Of course, you, Steve, you just, I guess, pipe in. I mean, wait till I'm finished if you don't mind. But yeah, just pipe in. Family first. Ah, thank you. Yes, you're totally right about that, Steve. Absolutely, family first. I'll touch on that a little bit because some of you don't know my story. Why don't I just do that real quick, and then I'll go into the couple of lessons that I learned on the panel from the event. My why is family. Not everybody's why is family. It happens to be mine. And a couple of examples. Well, the first example, of course, is how I got into real estate investing in the first place. My husband was working and owned a home hardware, which is like for all my American friends, Steve, you included. I don't know where Kevin and Douglas are. I think Douglas is on the East Coast too. Doug, you are in like Newfoundland. You're way east. I remember talking to you about ACN. Anyway, my husband owned a home hardware, which is like owning an Ace Hardware. So, and this is when we started investing in real estate. So he's on his way home from a networking event like the one that I attended on Sunday, 100 people. Only at this event, there were probably like 300. No, 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 not that many. They were pretty small back then. And he called me on his way home. He said, "We have to invest in real estate." And I like to share this part about me because it's important. I have an unfair advantage, and that is that I was raised by a real estate investor. So, a lot of people, when they invest in real estate, Um, well, they want to invest in real estate, but Steven, I'm just going to turn your camera off. Uh,
But
there we go. I'm just turning your camera off. It's nothing personal, but I'm just going to turn it off. So a lot of people, when they start investing in real estate or they want to go on an entrepreneurial journey, unfortunately, for a lot of folks, if they are married, usually whoever did not attend the a seminar doesn't know what's going on and they might be scared. Okay, so I just want to acknowledge that I was not one of those people. I was raised by a real estate investor. So when my husband called me on the way home from this thing, I'm 6 months pregnant with my first child, and he's like, "We got to invest in real estate." And I said to myself, "Okay, sounds good." I had very fond memories of my dad being a real estate investor. My dad was always able to help me in a moment's notice because he was an entrepreneur. He was a real estate investor. He could do what he wanted when he wanted, as long as he didn't have some kind of major appointment going on or something like that. A perfect example, one that I often give, is that my best friend Dana and I were kitchen partners in home ec back in 1987 in seventh grade. And part of our grade, like 60% of our grade or 40% of our grade, huge part of our grade, we could cook everything properly, but if we didn't have a guest, if we didn't invite a guest, then we got Tanvir, I'm just there you go. I'm just thank you. If we didn't have a guest, Tanvir, I'm just gonna keep your video off. Uh, if that's okay with you. Yeah, that's great. Third time is a charm. If we didn't have a guest, then it would hurt our grade. We'd basically fail the lab. We'd fail the cooking, even if our ravioli were perfect. And we'd always forget. We forgot almost every single week. And so I would be up at the office calling my dad, because of course we didn't have cell phones back then, 1987. Hello. I'd call him on his cell phone because he as an entrepreneur had one of the first cell phones. It was in his car. And he would be able to drop whatever he was doing and come and be our guest in our cooking class. And that's my dad. Okay. He picked me up from outdoor lab. He was just the best. He was always available. And so when my husband's like, "Let's do this," I was like, "Yeah, awesome." Also, my parents went through some tough times with real estate as well. I wasn't really super knowledgeable about what had gone on with them until later on in life when I was a real estate investor. Uh, that said, they were just amazing people. And I'm so blessed that my parents are who they are. And again, I have an unfair advantage. So anyway, um, what I like to share that with people because some people think, oh my gosh, because we've done tons of real estate. We've been through all kinds of ups and downs and the highs of the highs and the lows and the lows. We've had to start and restart, and we've had 5 kids and we have all these things. And I do like to acknowledge that I am very blessed to have, have such a supportive partner. In fact, it was his idea. And I know he feels blessed that he had me to be able to like, yeah, let's go for it. He and I really, oops, that was my red light. That's funny. Okay, I gotta calm down. I'm a little jumpy. He and I support each other. And I can honestly say if anybody is a little, if anybody gets a little nervous about things, it's probably me, which sounds crazy. Uh, I am working on that, just being a really good helper to my husband, supporting him, believing in him, being a good cheerleader. And so I just wanted to talk about that. So that's one thing. So maybe somebody has questions or somebody just needed to hear that today. And what I can say is even if you do have a nervous partner or nervous spouse, well, if you have a nervous spouse and it just is an obstacle that cannot be overcome, no real estate deal is worth a marriage, in my opinion. It's, it's not. Okay. Uh, so keep that in mind. And if you're not married and you are out there and you're wanting to invest in real estate, wanting to be an entrepreneur, make sure you pick your spouse carefully. It's probably the most important choice you can make, decision you can make in your life. Okay, so I'm talking about all kinds of things, and those are the kinds of things that I talked about on the panel, along with, of course, some other things. There are 100 people at this event, and I admit I came a little bit unprepared. You know, God was talking to me. I've been trying to get better at listening to God, that kind of thing. And I had this feeling, the sense that I should create a QR code. So, folks, if you don't know what a QR code is, right now you just need to pause this or go on your phone if you're watching this on Facebook, on a computer, or go search it up elsewhere. You should know what it is. The box with all these squiggly lines, or it looks like a Minecraft building supply. It's a box with a jumbly code, and you put your camera up to it, and a link pops up. And I should have had a QR code. I should have had it on the back of my phone. I can't show you my phone because I'm filming on my phone. There were so many people that wanted to talk to me. I felt so blessed about that, so honored. The easiest way for me to keep in touch with people is to have people sign up for my email list. My email list is primarily content. That's real estate investment, tips, tricks, strategies that can help people based on my experience. And also to let people know about events like this that are happening either virtually or in person. And I should have had a QR code because it would have been so easy to exchange information, have people sign up with me, you know, and then I would have their information and on and on and on. And on top of that, it would have been a great way to keep in touch because I send out 2 to 3 emails a week to my email list. And again, if they kind of lost my information or something, they would get an email pretty soon to let them know that I'm still thinking about them, that I'm still sending out content. And on top of that, I would have their information so I can follow up with them. And 67% of business, folks, is lost due to lack of follow up. And so that's one thing that I wish that I would have done. Now, the second thing that I wish I would have done is while I had the microphone, do a call to action. So I I told all kinds of stories. I feel like I left everybody with some good practical strategies that they could go and put to use right away. And what I could have done, but I didn't do, was when I knew it was going to be the last question, I could have said, "Hey, and if anybody wants to keep in touch with me, make sure you come up and get my QR code." Or I could have brought some QR codes like laminated for people just to scan so that we would have kept in touch. It's called a call to action. And it's important to do because it's like, okay, how do I find this person otherwise? Yeah, they could find me through Chad, but Chad's a busy guy. I mean, he's doing real estate deals. Now he's got to do all this follow up for the event because it was a huge success. He's got media, he's got this, he's got that. So if anybody's looking for me through him, it might take a while, you know? So this is just something that's quick and efficient. So you want to have a call to action and be ready for that call to action. You might say, well, I may not be invited on a panel. Fair enough. Maybe you won't be invited on a panel right now, but down the line, if you do this kind of stuff enough and you're on platforms and you're doing videos and you're kind of putting yourself out there, you never know. You might be invited to be on a panel. So, just be ready. And one of the ways that you can be ready with a QR code, for example, is you could probably get one through Fiverr where you could actually have a QR code where somebody could take the picture and then immediately all your contact details would come up and can be inputted into your phone. I don't have that, but I'm going to work on getting it. I'm going to tell you that right now. And for now, I have what I have. But I bet Fiverr, which is spelled F as in Francis, I, V as in Victor, ERR. I don't think it has two V's, but it might. Anyway, Google that as well while you're looking up how to what a QR code looks like. And then let's see. Oh, this is what else I want to talk about. Whenever you go to a networking event, see if they offer an opportunity for you to introduce yourself. And and you can ask ahead of time. You say, hey, do you allow people to introduce yourself? Or try to focus on going to events where you can introduce yourself. So some networking events, they're so massive, there's just no time for everybody to introduce themselves. But a lot of networking events, there are, or maybe there might be situations where the networking event allows people where it's their first time to be able to introduce themselves. You want to be super ready for those networking events. And I liked, so what you can prepare is like a 30-second or a 60-second or a 90-second infomercial. And some people call this an elevator pitch because you want to be able to step on an elevator, strike up a conversation with somebody and leave them with a decent idea of what you do in your world and how you can stay connected in the time it takes to go from the first floor to the 20th floor, the fifth floor, the third floor, or whatever. So you want to have 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and 90 seconds. Not only because you just never know how long the elevator is going to take, you also want to be ready with that kind of elevator pitch or infomercial, depending on what kind of networking group you go to. So my networking group, which is called the Okanagan Real Estate Investment Group, or OREG, and you're watching here on OREG on Facebook, and a lot of you that are going to see this are also part of OREG. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being members. At OREG, monthly members, so these are members who basically pay every month, like a gym membership. They have the ability to participate in what's called open mic, where they get 90 seconds. In some cases, though, because events have to have networking, they can only last so long. I've been to lots of events where it's 30 seconds or 60 seconds. So you just, like I said, you want to be ready for all three. And it's never been easier because you can go into ChatGPT, and there are a lot of free versions there's free versions of ChatGPT that you can totally use. You could go to ChatGPT and use a couple of prompts. So a prompt is where you say, assume the role of a master public speaker and create a 30-second infomercial and a 90-second infomercial and a 60-second infomercial based on what I do, ending with a call to action to come and get my QR code or to bring me a business card or whatever your call to action is going to be. And then on top of that, you want to make sure your infomercial talks about what's in it for them. It's WIFM, which means what's in it for me. So you want to talk. So when you do an infomercial, I'll give you a perfect example. This is me. I'm going to do a 90-second infomercial. It should be less than 90 seconds. I don't know. I don't have a timer on. Okay, just bear with me. I don't have a way to do a timer. My phone's busy. I don't know how the timer works over here. So I'm gonna do the best that I can. I'm gonna do an infomercial about what I do as a coach. Okay, so I stand up. My name's Julie Hoffman. My phone number is 778-215-7653. You always want to say your phone number, okay? I help people who are trying to get into real estate and they're trying to figure out how they need hands-on help from somebody who's very experienced, especially when the times get challenging. So if that sounds like that would help you, then what I want you to do is reach out to me. You can phone me, write down my phone number, 778-215-7653, or you could come and just scan my QR code and join my email list, and I will stay in touch that way. The other thing you can do is give me your business card. Those are three different calls to action. Like you can do that because it gives people options. Like, okay, I have a business card, but I didn't bring my phone. Or I have a pencil and a piece of paper, but I don't have a business card and I didn't bring my, I don't know. You just want to cover as many bases as you can. And I know that that infomercial was probably less than 60 seconds. Hi, Garth. Hi, Garth. Nice to see you. Garth just joined us on Facebook. Okay, so I know that was that was probably around 30 seconds. Okay, and then you can make a 60-second one and you can make a 90-second one. And even better, you can ask ChatGPT to do it for you. And you can seriously give it specific parameters to make it 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and 90 seconds. And you don't have to take the whole time, by the way. If you have 90 seconds, you can just take 60 seconds. You can just take 30 seconds if that's all you've got. Now, the more experienced you are and the more of a track record you have, the longer you can take. So I'm gonna do this again. Now keep in mind, like I haven't done this yet, so I hope the timing is pretty good. I'm gonna rewatch this and see how my infomercial goes. I'm gonna try a 90-second infomercial based on the other one, on the last one that I did. So my name's Julie Hoffman. I'm a real estate investment coach. My phone number is 778-215-7653. I work with people who are looking to get into real estate investing and they need hands-on help because it can be very, very intimidating, especially when things get tricky. So recently I had Allie get an accepted offer and she just removed conditions on her property today. And this is in real life, folks. Okay. One of my coaching clients, Allie, removed conditions today. She's got a possession date of August 15th. We've been working together for quite some time. There was a moment where she thought she was ready and she wasn't quite ready. Then we got stalled out a little bit later on, and we are crossing the finish line, folks. So, and it's so exciting because she says that she wouldn't have been able to do it without me. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I sure am proud that I got to be part of it. I think that might have been more than 90 seconds. It's still a great story though, right? And it's true. It's happened today. I'm so excited for Allie. She's just absolutely amazing. Hi, Jenny. Thanks for being here. And so I'm going to go back and time that, but okay, then I would repeat. Call me 778-215-7653 or give me a business card or come scan my QR code. That's on my phone. And be ready with, of course, a QR code. All right, so those are some suggestions on networking that might really accelerate how well you do and how efficient your meetings are. Now, I'm happy to open it up. See, we had another guest and he he left. Oh well, that's okay. Um, Anybody have any questions? And if you don't, that's okay. There's no pressure here. By the way, Jenny and Garth, you missed a little bit. We were going over some networking strategies. I told some stories about an event that I was at and a little bit about my background. Don't worry, this is being recorded, so you can always go back and watch it. I really am hoping that my sound works. I, Doug, Kevin, Garth, and Jenny are still on here, so I am assuming my sound works. I can see that my sound works, and I've already been talking to Steven, so um, we're good to go. Now, anybody have any questions about any of that or about anything else? Okay, good. Thanks, Steven. I do this. That's like a kind of a, I do this in open mic too. I kind of say going once, going twice. I think just you and I. Yeah, I think it's just the two of us here on Zoom. We got four folks though on the Facebook group. So that's kind of fun. 6 in total. I think it was like 14 last week. Oh, okay. Do I have something else? Awesome. Okay. Going once, going twice. All right. So that is it for what I wanted to talk about tonight for the most part, but I am going to leave with a little bit of a story too. I'm actually going to probably start my next live event with this story. So for those of you who join us in September, I hope you get as much out of it tonight in September as you will tonight. Hi Rick. Oh, Rick Rose, I haven't seen you in a while. The other night, no, the other day, I swam across Lake Okanagan, which is a 1 mile swim, for the third time. Lake Okanagan hosts a swim. It's called the Across the Lake Swim. It's a very creative title. I know you're all thinking, wow, how did they ever come up with that? It's actually like 76 years old, and it is the largest open water swim that they do in Canada. And so I swam it for the third time, which was a total kick. And funny thing about it is I was late. I was late for the start. And I thought I had enough time because last time I attended it, I thought I had plenty. We stood in line forever just to get in the water and swim across the lake. So I was thinking to myself, I've got time. I'll just kind of be at the tail end. It doesn't really matter. You start with a little timer chip thing on your ankle, and then you finish and you cross the finish line, and it keeps track of how much time it takes you. So I was late, and it didn't matter. There was a point, though, actually very, very early on, where I got scared. And I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm kind of nervous. I wonder if I should turn back. Because I was literally the last person in the lake. They were like rolling up carpets and it really just the gate was closed, everything. But they're like, sure, jump in. And so early on, I was scared. I was like, oh, I don't feel very safe. What if nobody's looking out for me? There were plenty of people on the lake, but I was just kind of like, I'm the last one in here. And I just kept going. Kind of thought to myself, well, so far so good, so far so good. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. And eventually I just got into a groove and I used to be a competitive swimmer, so I kind of got that back in me. You never really lose it. It's like a muscle memory thing. And then I finished and I ran across the finish line. It felt so good to have it done. And I feel really confident that I took probably a good 4 minutes off of my time because I trained for it and I'm in best shape of my life. Um, and all these really great things. And I kept checking the results to see what my time was. And I did not get a time because because I was too late. And it made me think about, but I finished. I was there. It happened. I passed like 50 people, by the way, because there are a lot of people that swim this thing and they've never swum like more than 3 laps in a pool. So that's like it's a major deal for a lot of people. Anyway, hey Sean. Anyway, I finished, and it made me think about entrepreneurship and real estate investing. And it doesn't matter if you start late or if you think it's too late. And there are going to be moments, no matter when you start, whether you start when you're 18 years old or 68 years old. You might be thinking 68? I don't know. A lot of people live to 100. Start, just start. And uh, you're not competing with anybody except yourself. And it feels really good to, cross the finish line. I was talking about my coaching client, Allie, in my 90-second infomercial in my 90-second infomercial, and literally she is so close to the finish line and she is so stinking excited. And I was so excited when I was close to the finish line to be done with that swim because I was actually kind of tired, but I was also really excited that I was like, okay, I'm going to finish this thing. I'm going to finish this thing. This was not easy, despite the fact that I, had been a swimmer, a competitive swimmer a long time ago. I'm 51 and it was a long time ago. So I don't know, maybe somebody needed to hear that. Maybe you're 38, 48, 50. I don't know. Just start, see what happens. There are lots of ways to invest in real estate, and maybe you want to do it not for yourself, but maybe for the next generation. Yeah, maybe you want a legacy to leave to your kids. Maybe it's something you want to start with one of your kids or one of your grandkids. Before you go, I don't mean to sound morbid, but all of us only have a limited time on Earth, and let me tell you, it's quite a journey, and a lot of times it can be like swimming across a lake. Not necessarily easy all the time, but also there are moments where you just get into a flow for sure. And boy, it does feel good when you cross that finish line. So. I don't know who needed to hear that today, but thank you for being here, all of you, to listen. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Um, I hope that some of the strategies that I was able to share with you help you in your networking. And no matter what, I appreciate you. So thanks again for being here, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.